Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Cooking with Chef Aaron. This time, we're going to be setting foot in both Europe and Asia, particularly the Middle East, as we explore the country of Turkey. Now this country was requested to me by none other than Cathleen Edwards once again. As always, I'd like to give a big shout out to you. Thank you for the request, and I always hope to receive more requests from other people sometime soon. Okay, so I'm going to start my review off by talking about the largest city in Turkey called Istanbul. And just to give you some trivia, this city actually lies in the border between Europe and Asia. As I said earlier, Turkey is a country located in both Europe and Asia, and Istanbul lies on the border between both continents. So most of Turkey is located in Asia and the Middle East, while other parts of Turkey that border Bulgaria, those are located in Europe. I really like the architecture of Istanbul because, as you can see here with the HAGIA SOPHIA building right here, as you can see, like, it has a very nice design to it. It's very circular, like a dome. You can see like some sort of like pointy parts of it. It's sort of like the castle. It's like a cathedral kind of. It looks pretty interesting. It's very elegant. And as for other parts of the city, like over here, you can see that it has a bunch of colorful, elegant buildings, and it looks really nice the way it is presented. Okay, so now I'm going to shift my attention over to the second largest city and the capital city, which is called Ankara. And as you can see, by looking at this picture right here, this consists of the KOCATEPE mosque, I think it's pronounced. And as you can see, it looks very similar to the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul that I showed earlier. The colors are different, but you can see that the designs are very similar. Turkey, in particular, likes to use a lot of like pointed designs and dome designs. You'll notice a lot. And as for the city of Ankara itself, it looks very similar to that of the similar Canadian cities like Montreal or Toronto, because as you can see here, you can see some futuristic-looking architecture, some nice-looking buildings that resemble what you would find in Canada. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about another major city in Turkey, and this city is known as Izmir. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And as you can see here, it consists of architecture that looks very similar to that of Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, because as you can see, the buildings are kind of straight and pointed upwards, and they're sort of more futuristic, and they have sort of like this blue twisty design to them, sort of. It's very similar to what you would see in the UAE. And it just looks really cool the way it is. Okay, so to wrap up my review, I'm going to talk about the rural parts of Turkey now. And as you can see here, there's a lot of nice rocks right here. There's a lot of like really nice rocks that look really cool and designed over here in the country area. And as you can see here, there's a lot of nice green mountains over here. There's also a lot of nice sort of glacier mountains too, kind of similar to what you would see in like some parts of Central Asia, like Kyrgyzstan. And I really like all the colors that blend in very well with it. Looks very cool and natural. Okay, so overall, I probably have to give the country of Turkey an A. Okay, with all this said and done, let's head up to my kitchen, and I'll show you how to make the Imam Bayildi. Follow me, please. Okay, so in order to make the Imam Bayildi, the ingredients you will need are as follows. We have over here 2 eggplants which have been peeled into stripes, and we have put them through water, a bowl of water, and had them soak for 30 minutes along with a teaspoon of salt. So I've had them sit for 30 minutes. I'm just letting them dry off. And in this bowl, I have 2 onions which have been cut into half moon shapes. And in this bowl over here, I have 1 tomato which has been chopped. And in this bowl I have 1 green pepper which has been chopped, 3 tablespoons of cooking oil, and 5 teaspoons of garlic. And in this bowl I have 1 tablespoon of parsley and 1 tablespoon of mint. Okay, so I'm going to start the cooking process off by making the filling for the Imam Bayildi. So we're going to start by having a pan that's on medium-low heat, so about 3. And we're going to take our oil and we're going to put it in the pan like this. Just like get it all out into the pan. I'm just going to spread it all around. Make sure it's evenly coated on the pan. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my onions. And I'm just going to let this cook for 10 minutes. Okay, so once your onions have changed into like a sort of a brown color, what we're going to do now is we're going to take our green pepper, we're going to add it to the mixture like this. And we're just going to let this all blend in, and we're just going to let it sit for another 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so once 3 minutes have passed, the next thing you want to do is you want to take your garlic and add it to the mixture, just like this. And we're just going to blend it in and let it sit for 1 more minute before adding the tomatoes. Okay, and once your garlic has been cooking for a minute, we're now going to add our tomatoes and mix well. It's starting to look very colorful now, isn't it? Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to season your filling. So I'm just going to add like a pinch of sugar and just spread it all around like this. I'm also going to take my parsley and mint, and I'm going to add it to the mixture as well. And I'm also going to season this with some salt and pepper. I'm just going to mix well. And afterwards I'm going to transfer this to a bowl and set it aside. Okay, so as you can see, I've set the filling aside right here. This is what it looks like right here. Doesn't it look nice? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the oil and I'm going to brush it onto my eggplants like this, just before they go in the oven. I'm going to turn them so that they're nice, evenly coated. And we just put them in the oven between 35 to 40 minutes. And afterwards we move on to the next step. Okay, so after your eggplants have sit in the oven for about 40 minutes, what you want to do now is you want to cut them in half. As you can see, I've cut them in half, and I've also pressed on the inside of the skin of the eggplant to make like little boats. And I've also garnished each eggplant with a little pinch of salt and sugar for each one, as you can see here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the filling I made earlier, and I'm going to scoop some up and put them into the insert for each eggplant. So just like this. And doesn't this look delicious? Just want to do this for each one. And you want to keep some filling aside for the sauce. Okay, so once you've stuffed your eggplants, they will look something like this. So now you just want to transfer them to a white dish and put some parchment paper down. And as for this is remaining filling that I blended with half a cup of hot water and some salt and pepper. So I just blended it all through, and it came out like this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour this all around the pan so that's nicely evenly coated like this. And afterwards I'm going to stick it in the oven for 30-35 minutes at 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so as you can see, our eggplants are nice and baked. And what we're going to do now is we're going to let them cool. And afterwards we'll cover them with foil and we'll let them sit in the fridge for a couple of hours before serving. Okay, let's see what I think of this. Get a little bit of filling as well. Alright, let's see what I think of this. This is pretty tasty. Tastes very gourmet. I can taste all the veggies with the eggplant. It's great. Okay, and this is the finished product served on our plate. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.